Hi everyone, my name is Damilola Olukorede and I'm a third year PhD student at the PhRMA Lab in the University of Michigan, and I've just been awarded the PhRMA Foundation Predoctoral Fellowship in Drug Discovery. So I did not start out my career in research. I was going to be a pharmacist. I studied pharmacy at the University of Ibadan. But towards my fifth year at the College of Pharmacy, I took this course in drug discovery, and I found it super interesting because I grew up around medicinal plants, and this is something that people use a lot in Nigeria to treat like several ailments. And I just felt very interested in that because I wanted to be on the other end of that process, that is not just like dispensing drugs, but really working towards like developing and discovering these drugs and then working it through to like get into markets. So antibacterial resistance is a global challenge, and my research focuses on generating these new cyclic complex compounds that can be used to address this problem of antibacterial resistance because they have antibacterial properties. A long-standing challenge that we've had with drug synthesis has always been like how to make these cyclic complex compounds. And researchers, especially also in our lab, they've tried to use enzymes, that is, develop these newer enzymes to make these cyclic complex compounds. That process of using enzyme can be very inefficient. It can be slow, it can take a very long period of time, and it can also be very difficult. So my research focuses on using artificial intelligence and several other data science approaches to make that process more efficient. We don't want a try and error approach, so to say, and we have a more streamlined, efficient process of generating these new enzymes that can then be used to generate these new compounds that have antibacterial properties. So an interesting story is, I know normally people, when something smells bad or goes, they imagine that, oh, this thing is bad, it has gone bad and you want to throw it away. But because I work with bacteria, I work with culture, for me, it's the other way around. When I come into the lab, let's say I set up an experiment yesterday and I come in today and I open the flask and it smells terrible, I'm very excited. Like I get really happy. I'm like, oh, thank God it smells bad, because that means my reaction has gone well. So I know that's like just something very interesting because it's like the opposites on a normal day. What I love about research is the problem solving part. I know nobody loves problems, but for me, it's just like with research, there's always one challenge after the other. Like you solve this problem, there's several other challenges waiting for you to address. So I think for me, each day I go to the lab, I'm like, what can I address today? And I solve it. I think people think of I used to think that still researchers as like this boring, streamlined, niched people. But I've met several researchers. In our lab, we have people that do a lot of sports. We have like people that run marathons, people that are into music, opera, people that write stories. So I think researchers can be very complex people that have other interests that also lie outside of like normal day-to-day research. I love to read books. I am always reading a book. Even I come back from the lab, you would expect that I'm just tired, I'm worn out, but I have another book that I have to read that has nothing to do with science. So I love reading. I love stage plays. Michigan has a very good arts scene, so it's like I can always go to see a play. So I love reading and I love plays. I would tell my younger self to branch out, try different things, because you don't know what you're going to fall upon. You don't know what you're going to like, you don't know what you're not gonna like. So I used to be this person that was very streamlined. It was pharmacy, I go to class, I come back, and that's it for me. But now getting into grad school, I've started trying my hands at newer things, even things that I'm not so comfortable with. So I would tell my younger self to try things that I'm not so comfortable with, try new things, try new experiences, and then just see where I land. I would love to work in the industry. I would love to work in pharma. Also now I'm currently working with my school's fund, Michigan Biomedical Venture Fund. And with that, I'm developing this interest in the intersection of business and research. So that's something I could possibly also try my hands at, but definitely working in the industry.